Welcome back. This is Matt Henshin with White Knight Garage. We're sitting here in the '69 Corvette today. Thought, what's a better place to do this video from? Something fun. Beats sitting out in the shop or standing around the car. And why wouldn't you want to be in a car that you love and you're surrounded by it? There's no better feeling than that, especially once it's back on the road. So this video is going to be about the tasks that we're going to perform on this car. About a week ago, I spent some time and I made quite a list, and it's 2 pages long. This was the task list and the potential purchase list, and I shared that with the owner. Now, full disclosure, the owner is my father, so I'm very fortunate that this is a car that I've worked on through the years, and I get to drive. And matter of fact, back in high school, and it was specifically in 2002, he and I did a full, complete body off frame restoration. He's had this car since 1970. He drove it for a number of years. It sat in the barn, and at that point, it was time to get it out again and do a father-son task. And this is one of my fondest memories working with him. But it's time to give it a freshen up. There were some things we never did because it was good enough at the time, but they're starting to show some age again. And we're going to go through those in a minute. But before we do that, most people wait till the end to do the really fun bit, but we're going to do it first. Yeah, that car sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I do enjoy taking this down the road. It has a nice rumble to it. Even just cruising, it sounds good and it's comfortable. So hopefully, even though the best part is now done, you're going to stick with me here as we go through this list. So I told you I made a list about 2 pages, and that is the work and the purchase list. And we whittled it down to what we wanted, but it's still quite a list. It's about 20 items. And I couldn't fit 20 items on either side of me here, so I've tried to break it down even further into main categories. And we're going to go through the main categories. I'm going to touch on 2 or 3 items in each. No way can I cover all of them in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. I have the other list here so that I don't forget what I'm going to talk about. And the first one I'm going to touch on is mechanical maintenance. So for the mechanical maintenance, things that are easy things that would need to be done is the fluids need flushed. Engine oil is actually new, just done a couple weeks prior to coming down here to the shop. But there's other things that don't work. So the first is the oil pressure gauge. If we look at the right dial, you can see we have RPM. So the engine is on. We go to the center stack. Oil pressure is above 0, right about where 10 would be. As we get out of the car, so because of the issue, I installed a temporary gauge to make sure everything is running okay. It's safe to run the engine, and sure enough, we have 60 PSI, so we're okay. The next item we're going to touch on is we think the throw-up bearing's going bad, so we're going to pull the transmission, or I'm going to pull the transmission. I'm going to check that and see if we find anything there. The other thing is we're going to tighten the e-brake. Watch this video. Here we are, getting ready to pull the e-brake. There's all the way as far as it can go. We roll it forward, and then we roll it backward. And the other couple things is the windshield wiper motor seems burnt out, so we're going to check that. We're going to do some electrical checks to make sure that that's okay, and if not, we'll replace it. And then we're going to clean out some of the rust under the hood and use some rust encapsulators, just liven the engine compartment area a little bit up. It's not a show car. It's not NCRS. This is meant to be, I won't say a daily driver, but it's meant to be driven, meant to be enjoyed. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. The second item is an alignment. So about 2 years ago, the steering box went bad, and we've rebuilt it, and out of all of that, the alignment's off. That's a pretty easy thing to do. I use the string method for cars, and that's pretty accurate, and I've never had a problem. I do my race cars that way as well. And then the other piece that we're going to touch on are the seals. The T-tops, the door seals, and the seal around the top of the hood have never been changed. They are original, and they are crusty. So we're starting here with the driver's door. You can see some cracking. You can see the molding pulling away from the door, and it doesn't even go all the way around the window like it's supposed to. You see what's left over there. Surprisingly, though, it's intact all the way around. You can see some of the overspray from when it was repainted, moving over to the body of the car, where the window strikes the body there. It's pretty stiff. It does move, but it's pretty stiff, and around the T-tops, it's kind of hard to see. It's dark, but some areas are pretty hard. Here, again, some cracking, or quite a bit of cracking. Not as soft as it should be. So there you have it. Time to get them changed. These windshields this birdcage frame is known to leak, and this one does leak a little bit around the rearview mirror. And I noticed all the adhesive around the windows kind of pulled back. We didn't feel like removing the window. That was going to open up one heck of a can of worms. So what we're going to do is, there's enough of a gap between the trim around the window and the window itself. We're going to use an adhesive silicone, black, so you're not going to see it. And we're going to put it up inside there, and we're going to seal around it so all that water washes either around the T-tops or down the bottom of the frame and out where it's supposed to go, rather than around the top of the windshield and down the rearview mirror. And then the last thing is, there is a heat mat under the hood. It's pretty worn. It's original. The little washers that hold it in place, they're pretty rusty. Again, we'll use a rust encapsulator on those. So we'll clean them up. We'll use the rust encapsulator, chemically change that, and that's a satin black, so it'll just look very similar to the original, give it a lot better appearance and cleaning up on the engine bay. The next item, the fourth, is we're going to repair the vacuum system. We did put all new vacuum hoses in when we redid this car, and since then, and everything worked great. But since then, now a number of things aren't working. And at the time when we did the restoration, since everything worked, we didn't bother putting all new relays in or the vacuum canisters, the rubber boots. We think all of those are shot. So I have all the rebuild kits already. It's actually already came, believe it or not, and those will all get replaced. And hopefully, if that will resolve our vacuum issues, because the wiper door and the headlights are all under the vacuum system. In this short clip, you can see I'm pointing out the two actuators for the headlights, and under the center is the relay, which controls where the vacuum is flowing. Moving under the hood, where the arrow is, you can see is a wiper door, and this actually lifts up out of the way and reveals the wipers and allows them to do their job. Now we're moving the arrow. This is the actuator, and this is what the vacuum system works on to open the wiper door, and attached to it within the wiper tray is a switch to know when the wiper door is open or closed, and there's also a relay under this area as well. So all of those will get rebuilt. Now the next item is, there are some areas of fiberglass that needs repaired. On the passenger door, there's a nick out of there, and then in the front of the car there is a nick there, and I want to get that all cleaned up. And that will all be resprayed. There's some areas that need resprayed anyways and cleaned up just based off the body lines of the car. There's a lot of chips, especially on the bottom rocker area. Because if you look at the car, it has one of these shapes to it, and the wheels kick all of the stones up. There's nothing to deflect the stones from the front tires, so all of that hits up on the body. I'll probably see if Corvette America or Zip Corvette, any of those, make some sort of splash guard, something that will keep that away, and if not, I will most likely make something out of stainless steel or aluminum. And also with that, we're also going to repaint the emblems, as you can see here. They're pretty shot. They're original, but we're going to clean them up with some acetone. We're going to get some paint, an enamel paint that's baked on, so we're going to take them off, clean them up, and redo the emblems as well and get those looking nice and new again. On to item 6, the interior. There's a number of little things. This interior, other than the seats and the carpet, is completely original. Dad took very good care of it, and although it needs cleaned up again, it's been years since it's really been cleaned up. And now that I do detailing as well, we can make that happen. One of the things though, so other than the general cleanup of the interior, is this door, the driver's door only, the passenger door is in great shape. The driver's door actually is warped, and the bottom of the door peels away about 1 inch. So we're going to put some steam on it, put some weight on it, and see if we can bring that back. If we can't, we're not going to worry about it, because at the end of the day, I'd rather keep the original door, and 99% of people won't see the warp, but I see it. I might as well try to fix it. And I got to get into the door because I'm going to fix some anti-rattles for the window, or put some new ones in, and some guides for the window. So while it's off, might as well see if we can repair it. Also to that, we're going to try, I haven't decided if I'm fully going to do this yet or not, but the interior has a lot of painted parts in it. In the console here, I'm going to look into seeing if I can repaint, if I can do it safely. I don't want it to look like junk, but again, I'd rather keep the original parts in here if I can. So if I can do some repainting or some touch-up, I'm going to try to do that on some of the interior pieces. Not a big deal for this car. I want to drive it. I want to enjoy it, but I don't want to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars if I don't have to, because it looks great. This is just really kind of nitpicky things at this moment. The other thing is the fiber optics. About half the fiber optics work. I'm going to replace the fiber optic system in this car, and it's really kind of cool. I'd show you, but it's not bright enough. Hence why I want to fix it. The front headlights and the high beams, there are fiber optics that connect to the lights, and those will light up inside the console here. Same with the brake lights and the reverse lights. So all of that, and when you use the turn signals, you can see inside here what lights are all working through the fiber optics. It's really kind of a cool system, and I think they only did it through 71. I think it was the last year for the fiber optic system, so 68 to 71. The next, I already kind of touched on it, the anti-rattles, but all the window treatments, we're going to put all new felt and everything around. It's time to clean them up. It's all worn away. They're pretty much non-existent at this point. That'll help really just bring the body or all the lines of the car back together rather than these gaps around the window. Like I can stick my finger inside there. So again, minor. Does it have to be done? No. Is this NCRS? No. But while I have it, I'm going to try to do some of those things. And then the last piece is all the door switches except for one either don't work or they're missing. So you have in the front of each door, when they're open, you have the courtesy lights, and at the back you have the door ajar lights or the switches. So the courtesy switch, which turn on the lights, and the switches for the door jams or for the door ajar, all of those are going to get redone except for the one that does work, and it appears to be in great shape. And then going on to the last item is the bread and butter of what I do here at White Knight Garage, and this car is going to get a complete detail. So there's some painting work I talked about, but this car has been under a tarp over the last couple years mostly. It is time to revive this paint. This car was repainted in 2002 when we restored it, and the paint job's great. There's some areas with scratches. Those are all going to be fixed. Some areas are going to have some respray, which is easy enough. But I can't wait to get to detailing this car, getting all of the scratches out from the car cover, and being essentially a shelf for a couple of years in the garage, and bring it back to life. I look forward to having this car out. You'll probably see me at car shows in it. I'd love for you to come see me and come look at the car, come look at the work that I can do. If anything, just come enjoy it. And I'll let you know when I'm going to any car show so you can meet me there if you're interested. And that's it. That's really all I have for you today. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, you know how to reach out. I'm always available. Use the links on the Facebook page or on Instagram, and give me a shout. Thanks.